What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason and Joe here. And today we are taking a look at this new top 100 albums of all time list. It's been rolling out slowly over the last couple of weeks. I think maybe 10 a day. Created quite a stir online, a lot of people talking about it. I have seen it, so I do have some idea of what's on here, at least the upper ones I saw today. It's not good. We'll get into it.
Yeah, I wanted to go in totally blind, but I did see a couple. I couldn't not see a couple of them. And yeah, pretty outrageous. Some albums I really don't like sneaking in the top 10. I didn't think Apple would have the gall. I don't know. They messed up.
All right, we'll go through some of these ones, especially at the bottom, kind of quick. Robin, Body Talk at 100. No, should not be near a top 100.
No, I don't think anyone needs to even comment on that one.
Hotel California.
Hmm, no,
Eh,
not even on mine.
no,
An apologist, and it wouldn't. It might make my top 500, maybe.
yeah, it would have a hard time making my top 100 or top 500. I don't think it would. Astro World,
Astro World.
Travis Scott.
I was thinking of Smash Mouth. It's, Astro.
What's that one called? Astro Lounge.
Astro. That would be less offensive to me.
Rage Against the Machine, self-titled.
Sure, I'm totally fine with that. I don't know if it would make mine, but no issues.
Yeah, wouldn't make mine, but I'm okay down here at 97, sure. Pure Heroin by Lorde. No. I mean, I like it. It's good, but it's not it's probably around like 50 for the year it was released, let alone like 96 all time. Come on.
Yeah, I mean that's clearly some like 23-year-old or Rob Sheffield picking that one.
Usher Confessions,
Hmm,
95.
probably overrated at this point. I like his new one better. It has like I mean, there's some albums obviously on this list that are just going to be like monumentally, important or big or like an event kind of album. So clearly that is, one of those. That I mean, they wouldn't even have that on like the Rolling Stone. That maybe snuck into the top 500, but they wouldn't have it in top 100. There's no way.
Next is Burial, Untrue.
I don't know what that is.
Burial's, I think it's like dubstep.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Electronic, Future Garage, dubstep, two-step, ambient, UK garage, UK bass.
Sure. Sure, why not? What year is that?
2007.
Okay, well, I missed that one. I was too busy listening to Fall Out Boy.
Solange, A Seat at the Table.
That's probably about 300 to 500 spots too high.
17,000 spots too high.
I think it's a good album.
Sure, there's a lot of good
Might,
albums.
that's true. It's probably in my top 250 of the decade.
No, not for me.
Okay, well, I like that album. That was pretty good.
Flower Boy, Tyler the Creator.
Yeah, I just listened to that the other day. It was fine. It was just like, what if Kanye was just following someone else completely and utterly? Like it's like a little bit weirder than Kanye and like a little more like I don't know. I already forget what it sounds like. It just sounded like Kanye with maybe like a little bit more ideas going on as far as like instrumentation and not, quite all in the rap genre, but like it's just so indebted to Kanye and like Chipmunk Soul that I don't know. They probably won't have Kanye on the list, would be my
I
guess.
don't remember seeing any Kanye.
I think he's officially canceled.
Listen Without Prejudice, George Michael. That's maybe the biggest surprise of the first 10.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly not a top 100, I wouldn't think. And I know it sold a ton, and it's an event album probably in the 80s, but was that 90?
I
90?
think it's early 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably just I don't know. I don't know why they would pick that.
Back in Black.
Sure. I mean that's a big one.
It is a big one, but at the same time, like I feel like this list is like giving a little bit of pushback to like the boomers and the classic rock and not going with all of the established greatest albums of all time. And for them to make this one of the ones that does make it, I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, you could have put something a lot more interesting in here than that.
Well, I mean, it seems like they're going pretty safe with the classic rock. If Hotel California and now Back in Black, like, turn on a radio in any city and the classic rock station is playing a song from one of those albums. Like, but I think as a society, we've moved past that like a little bit, is like being like oh, this is classic rock. Like that's I think like 10, 15 years ago, like the Eagles and like Zeppelin and like those albums were just like omnipresent, like Leonard Skinner. Like you do like the DVE countdowns for Memorial Day, and then like it's all over the top 100. And I think they've expanded a little bit in the past couple of years, but apparently Apple's not getting the memo.
Yeah. The Fame Monster.
Okay, I'm cool with that. That album, you know, you could go with The Fame or The Fame Monster because Lady Gaga changed pop, the whole face of pop in the late 2000s. So I have no problem with that, even if, it wouldn't be in my top 100, not even close, but at least for that one, you can say, okay, yeah, like that had a pretty huge impact on music, like way more than the Lord album that was, a couple spots before. I mean, I would argue that that's the most impactful record, or she's the most impactful artist of the last 25 years, but I could be wrong.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It's tough to say. I mean, she was huge and she was like a cultural moment.
And like everybody started copying her style too.
Yeah, but you could say that about Royals too. I mean, Royals really had an effect on like indie and pop production.
I guess that's true. It didn't sell nearly as much though.
Next, I put a spell on you, Nina Simone.
Okay, well, that seems like a random pick, but sure, why
It's
not?
random for this list, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Blue Lines by Massive Attack.
It's an interesting choice. That's kind of bold of them. I don't know where that would land on like the Rolling Stone list, but I feel like probably not in their top 100. So, and that's an okay pick. It's, not my pick, but I don't mind that one.
Blue Lines is Rolling Stones number 241.
Yeah. I mean, it's a landmark album in the genre, so you got to give it credit.
My Life, Mary J. Blige, 1994.
I don't know. I think you could do better than that. That's another one that's like, you know, 400, 350, probably culturally significant in some way, but not like one of the greatest albums of all time.
Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves.
That's a stretch.
That's absurd. It seems more and more now that like albums have like one of the greatest ever bestowed upon them upon release. This was just like anointed the day it came out, and now it's going to be on these lists for years now. And there are so many records similar to this that are so much better, I think, from the same time period.
I like it. I like Casey Musgraves. I don't know. Like it just seems like they're just desperate for newer albums that have like any name recognition at all. Like Casey is at least, people know her. They know her style. They've seen her on TV. So they're just, it's like Lord, and I'm sure there'll be a Billie Eilish and a Taylor Swift, and you know, these are the only names that people know, so they're just getting shoehorned on these lists.
Doggy Style, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, probably overrated at this point. Like I feel like that kind of gangster rap is like kind of on the way out. And like Snoop Dogg really only did that in his whole career, and some great guest stars or guest spots, but I don't know. I feel like they could probably do better, but I guess I'd have to wait and see what rap albums actually make the list before saying that's, way out of bounds. I mean, it's probably like a top 250, top 500 culturally important album.
I mean, it's probably easily a top 100 rap hip hop album.
I mean, it's probably top 25 or
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
higher,
yeah, probably.
but I
So,
want to see what else is on this list.
well, there's one coming up in a couple spots that is almost assuredly worse than this. Patti Smith, Horses.
That's to be expected, I think.
Yeah. Actually, maybe even a little lower than I would have thought, but
Hmm.
it feels like that's okay. 83 is fine by me. 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like by the time 50 like released his next album, like everybody knew he wasn't that good, but like they keep coming back to Get Rich or Die Trying, probably just because it sold a bajillion copies and like he was everywhere. But I don't feel like people really think that's a great album. Like maybe top 500. It's probably on the Rolling Stone top 500 just because of, its impact. But I, I think we've all like gotten over 50 Cent as an artist long time ago, actually.
I mean, it's it had some huge singles, but are people really still putting this on and listening to it as an album? I find that hard to believe. After the Gold Rush.
Love it.
Yep. Marshall Mathers LP.
I feel like Eminem's another one that's like slowly fading away, but I guess, again, impact.
Yeah. I don't have too much of a problem with this being on the list.
No. That's fine. I guess it's to be expected. Although I don't know if it was on like Rolling Stone's top 100.
Oh, it had to be, right?
I feel like Eminem's lost a lot of cultural cachet
Well,
lately.
he definitely has, but I think that album in particular
I'd have to
still
look.
holds some weight. Eminem at 145 on the
145. Okay, yeah. Not top 100 material. I think there's just too many other rap albums that are just better. May not have sold as much, but I think there's like a agreed upon list basically at this point.
Lana Del Rey, Norman fucking Rockwell. Big
No.
problem with this one.
Well, you hate her. And I hate Jack Antonoff, but I do like that album. Maybe Jack Antonoff's only successful production.
There's just so many similar artists that are just as good, and people just like bow before Lana Del Rey. It's like she's not that much better than all these other people doing the same thing. In fact, she's worse. And this isn't even her best record.
She was kind of doing it first, so she has like that fast lane to the albums, the important albums that I think she'll never lose at this point. I think she's like locked in now.
Didn't even make my top 100 the year it came out.
I think it's in my top five.
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Probably too high or too low.
Too low. Yeah. I mean, in my top albums of all time, it's probably lower than 78, honestly. But for a list like this and where I would expect it to be, actually it feels about right to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's probably like where it should be. I mean, I'd have it much higher on my all-time list, but I love Elton John more than most. I don't think it was I don't know if it was on Rolling Stone's top 100. I don't think it was.
112. Next up, Like a Prayer, Madonna.
It's a big one. It's much better than like Virgin.
Oh
I
yeah,
will say.
I like the song Like a Prayer. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, it has Cherish on the album too. Love Cherish.
Un Verano Sin Ti, Bad Bunny.
I think we all hate Bad Bunny here. We can just move on. He stinks. Hate him.
Yeah. Super Duper Fly, Missy Elliott.
Yeah, sure. I
Yeah.
think that's one of the albums that people just like that makes the list from now into eternity. It is accepted. It is canon.
Downward Spiral.
Mm, a little high for my liking. A little high.
Yeah, would not touch my personal top 500 or whatever. Yeah, it's fine. It's good, but don't love it. Asia, Steely Dan.
I'm assuming that'll be the only Steely Dan appearance. But it's a good placement. I like that. It's higher than Rolling Stone.
Surprised to see that here at all. So I'll take it.
Yeah, I think Steely Dan's back. I think they're
Oh,
back.
they've been back, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I think Apple's kind of picking up on the musical landscape. They're not dummies. They're not just doing like, the accepted list. Like they're trying to get to reel people in, and that's a good one, I think.
SOS by SZA. Is this the newest one? Probably, I would imagine.
From 2022.
Like the final days of 2022.
Yeah, like literally the last day of 2022, the one with Kill Bill on it and stuff. This one seems like destined to be like really high on all these lists from now on because it just keeps winning. Um, like it won Grammys and it won Album of the Year from Pitchfork and possibly Rolling Stone or somewhere else big, NME maybe. So I think this one is like a lock now from now until eternity because it's very big. It sold millions of copies and it has the critical standing and people seem to like SZA a lot. So I think this is like the new canon
Yep.
for new albums.
I don't get it. I listened to a few tracks and I don't even understand.
I like it a lot. So I kind of get it. Maybe not a lot, but but for new music, I like it a lot.
Trans Europe Express, Kraftwerk. Get it out of here. Straight out of Compton.
Yeah, you gotta have that on there.
Master of Puppets.
Good, good. I don't know if that would have made it without Stranger Things, but I'm happy to see it there representing the entirety of metal because that's the only one that's going to be on there.
You don't think Black Album's gonna be up higher?
No, I
No.
don't think so. I
Okay.
think Black Album is out, Master Puppets is in.
Have we had two from an artist yet?
No, you've not.
Is This It? The Strokes.
Yeah, I mean that one I might put it like number 100.
Yeah, I mean, on my own list, not. I don't. I wonder how many of these 100 would make my own top 200 even. Maybe.
We'll do that for Patreon.
Yeah. Uh, this is fine. Maybe a little high, but I'm not surprised it's here at all.
Yeah.
Portishead Dummy.
Mm, I would not have it ahead of Blue Lines. I'm not the, I guess, target audience for trip hop, so what do I know? But seems wildly overrated as an album. I gave it 3.5 stars.
I gave it 2.
All right.
The Queen is Dead. The Smiths.
Good to see that. I'm glad. I know Morrissey's been mostly canceled, but I think that album is uncancelable. I think the Smiths are uncancelable, like Morrissey solo, like he's
Yeah,
canceled. Smiths, they're forever.
agree. Surprised it's well. I mean, NME called it the greatest album of all time. Uh,
But this is, I mean,
American.
Apple's great American,
Yeah.
so
3 Feet High and Rising, De La Soul.
yeah, and that's a standard rap pick at this point.
Yep, surprised it's not even a little higher than that. Baduism, Erica Badu.
That's another one. See that all over the place. That was definitely on Rolling Stone's list somewhere.
Cram's a fan, made
Yeah.
his top 5 for the year.
Yeah, it seems like it's accepted as one of the best albums.
Jimi Hendrix Experience. Are you experienced?
What number are we at?
63.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Jimmy seems to have lost some cachet lately.
Yeah.
That's and
All the classic rock stuff is stocks are down.
yeah, stock down.
60s too. I think I saw a breakdown of the years included on this, and the 60s are considerably behind the 70s, 80s, 90s, and other decades. So
People are
people
dying off
people are
and
dying.
not
Yeah.
respecting their 60s.
All eyes on me, Tupac.
I don't know. I guess it's highly thought of, but just a lot of filler on those 90s rap albums.
Love Deluxe, Sade.
I like Sade. Yeah, I don't know. That seems like I don't know. This seems like very 90s heavy, which I
Yeah.
don't like. So I
90s
don't
are
dig
back, baby. All the Zoomers are into
that.
90s nostalgia.
I'm against that pick. Too high.
One you'll also be against the Velvet Underground and Nico at 60.
See, people say that, but I recognize the importance of that album. Like it's very, very important. I don't hate it either. I give it 4 stars. It's not something I personally like that much, but I wouldn't deny it in a top 100 spot. I'm surprised it's not like 6 or 7, to be
Same.
honest.
I would expect that to be at least top 20. I'm shocked that
Yeah.
it's down at 60. Arctic Monkeys AM.
Ahead of
Yeah,
that's a head scratcher. Even for me,
it's a
an
weird
AM
juxtaposition
enjoyer.
there. That's
Yeah,
bad. That's a
I'm
bad
an
look.
AM enjoyer, Arctic Monkeys fan of the band. But I don't even think I would put that on my list ahead of Velvet and Nico.
No.
That's yeah, it's nuts.
What's the story, Morning Glory?
Okay, yeah.
Better than The Queen is Dead, though.
No, certainly not.
No.
Certainly not. But again, these 90s albums are just like flying up this chart.
D'Angelo Voodoo at 57.
Yeah, people really like this album. This was number 28 on Rolling Stone's all-time 100.
Wow.
Yeah, I do like D'Angelo, but I can't say like these would be anywhere near my 100.
Same feeling. I
There,
think
there's a
D'Angelo's great, but
there's a lot of like neo soul that I prefer. So I don't know. That's tough for me. I don't want to denigrate D'Angelo, but
Disintegration, The Cure. This one
yeah,
feels spot on for me. Yeah, it should be
um,
there about 56. So that feels good.
I wouldn't have a I don't know, Cure for me, that's too scattered. I don't love any of their albums. I love many of their songs, but people seem to love this one and it seems to make the top 100 list. So that's fine.
Anti by Rihanna.
No, I'm on tie that pick.
Yeah, same. I love Supreme.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Not on my list, but
Exile.
on Main Street or
Yep. On Guyville. No, on Main Street.
yeah, that's fine. You expect it to be higher. I was 13, 14 on Rolling Stone's list, but they do not respecting their classic rock forebears very much. Is that gonna be the only Rolling Stone album? Like
Yeah,
that would
I would assume so,
that'd
yeah.
be crazy. Like
I think
that's
Appetite for Destruction.
yeah, that's fine with me.
It's a little high. I'll take that in like down around Back in Black.
Yeah, I mean probably, but it does seem to be like one of the few like heavy hard rock albums from the last 50 years that anyone respects. Like after Back in Black, it's like what is there until Appetite, and then after that, some grunge, but like that kind of not heavy metal, but like metal adjacent Like critics did not like it, so they seem to have latched on to Appetite as like the only good example like, of the last 50 years or whatever 40 years.
Sign of the times.
A little high for most lists. That's usually like a top 30 or 40, but yeah.
You keep saying high the wrong way.
Okay, a little low, a little low. Yeah.
Yeah, a little low.
What's a high number? It's a higher number than
Yeah, I
huge.
got you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Hounds of Love, Kate Bush, 50.
Another Stranger Things aided placement. I feel
Oh yeah.
as much as I love her, there's no way an American anything like a music periodical or anything would have had her anywhere close um to like a top 100 list. Like she may have made like Rolling Stone's original top 500, but I can't think that she was like super high up.
The Joshua Tree.
Expected.
Yep. That's fine. I'm right about where it should be, I think.
Mhm.
Paul's Boutique.
Yeah, people love that one. Very influential.
Take Care by Drake.
I was afraid of that, but it of the Drake albums, that is by far his best, and like legitimately, I think kind of a game changer because it really made like mopey ass emo rap like the thing for a long time, and it's still felt to this day like a lot of the stuff. Yeah, I guess it's died down a little bit, but like the influence of that album and like 808s and Heartbreak was super strong in the rap world.
Bob Marley, Exodus.
It's another like standard, like, hey, we need a Bob Marley, we need a reggae album. Exodus, moving on.
York, Homogenic.
Bjork. Bjork, sorry, Bjork. Yeah, that's I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I gained an even deeper appreciation for this record when we deep dive deep dived her catalog.
I'm glad they're not putting um what's the other one from 2001 that everyone loves, Vespertine.
Mm,
I'm glad they're not going like the super RYM route and like making it and putting Vespertine on there.
I think Vespertine's coming up.
Are you serious?
I think it might be top 10 actually. I think it's very high.
God.
I could be
Okay.
misremembering. We'll see. Intervisions
Should be lower, but it's fine.
should be lower.
Should be higher on the list. Lower number.
Lower number. Okay. Remain in Light.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's always on these lists. So I'm actually happy that it's around here instead of top 15 or whatever.
I mean, I always sound like I'm disparaging things when I say that it wouldn't be on my list, but like I legitimately I love this record. I do not know if it would make my top 200. There's just so many good albums.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why that one is held up as like the standard, I don't know, some Eno bias or whatever. And people didn't even like that album. Very, very much like a recent kind of like, oh yeah, I guess that album was good, but I don't know. I guess critics always liked it. The people, they did not.
Control by Janet Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have a Janet on here somewhere. It's a good album. I don't know if it'd be, this high up on my list, but
42
I,
of all time seems pretty insane.
I feel like she doesn't get her due anymore, but like it sold a bajillion copies. It had a buttload of top, I think number ones. I think it had like 5 number one hits. Like
That you never
people,
hear anymore.
no, you don't. And that's the thing. Like she is like totally off the face of the earth, but she was absolutely huge back in the day. Like, I mean, it's 10 million plus selling. Um, yeah. So I don't know. I'm okay with it in the top 100.
Aquemini, Outcast.
For whatever reason, I can't get into Aquemini, but I understand its placement, so it's fine. Moving on.
I never loved a man the way that I love you, Aretha Franklin.
A lot of crossover we're getting now with the Rolling Stone list. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with one of her albums.
Yeah.
I think her run from like 67 to 72 is pretty amazing. So yeah, just pick one. That's probably the best one to pick.
Agreed. Illmatic, Nas.
Yep. And that's, I would bet millions of dollars that would be on this list.
Tapestry, 38.
Another one that you just have to include at this point.
Yeah, it's great. I like it a lot. Again, wouldn't make my list. I'm surprised it's at 38 here. I would expect it to be here, but probably lower.
Yeah.
Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers.
Another one you just expect to see it at some point. Anyone who's read any of these, top 100 lists, it's on all of them.
Beyonce, self-titled.
That's an interesting one. Usually you see Lemonade at the top these days. You could even, I wouldn't be surprised, if Renaissance started, bumping that down as well.
I think that was Fantana was arguing that it should be Renaissance.
Yeah, I would disagree. Just because Beyonce, the self-titled was like this big shocking turn for her into the like more explicit Lady Gaga inspired, personal, and it dropped like out of the blue and it was a big deal and all that. So I think that's a good Beyonce pick.
London Calling.
Yeah, obviously.
It takes a nation of millions to hold us back, 34.
Obviously. That's guaranteed to be on here.
Kid A, 33.
Yeah, unfortunately.
How many more Radioheads are we getting?
We're already at 33 and we've only had one Radiohead. You gotta think OK Computer is gonna be on there. Would they be bold enough to put three? Would they include In Rainbows in?
They don't seem to be doubling up artists too much.
I don't know.
So
I would be shocked if there's three. And if In Rainbows is ahead of OK Computer, I will burn my iMac live.
ready to die.
Another one, like, yep, it's gonna be on these lists. It's one of the best rap albums of all time.
Jagged Little Pill. This is way too high.
That's a tough one. Yeah. I'm a Alanis defender, but that just seems like, hey, this album sold a bajillion copies. But like, is it that much better than like Cracked Rearview Mirror and like some of the other like weirdly successful 90s albums that came out of the blue?
I guess it was kind of a landmark in terms of like women in rock, but
Yeah, that's
the
true.
actual content on it, some of the singles are really good, but I don't think the album cuts are very good at all, and some of them are actually bad. So
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree as much as I like the singles.
Billie Eilish, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go?
Ugh. I'm in hell. I'm in hell.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's good. It did make my top 100 the year it came out, but all time 30 is bananas insane.
Yeah, I'm just
No,
batshit crazy. Just not there. There's no possible case to be made for that. In no like, there's just nothing. You couldn't say it was critically acclaimed enough to be anywhere near a top 100. Didn't sell enough to be a top 100. I imagine it's on here because she recently put out an album and was on the Barbie soundtrack, and they just gotta get her name on there somehow.
Low End Theory, Tribe Called Quest,
Yep.
Dark Side of the Moon, 28.
Wait, seems about right, I guess, these days. Like people love it, but like it's not quite as high up on some of these lists as I think you'd imagine it would be.
Yeah. Zeppelin 2.
Hmm,
It's an interesting pick. If this is the only Zeppelin we get,
that'd be very odd.
one of my least favorite Zeppelin records.
Yeah, I think it was like second to last for me. I mean, or third. I think it was third last. I mean, it's an easy 5-star album,
It's
in my
great, but
opinion. But it definitely would not be my choice to
it's not,
represent Led Zeppelin on a top 100 album.
yeah, no, it's not the representative. We do have some Kanye, Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Okay, so they got one Kanye on here. He's not totally canceled. That is seemingly like the one that makes it these days. I don't know how people have it ahead of um, graduation, in my opinion, but whatever, it's fine.
Kind of Blue, Miles Davis.
Yeah, I mean, okay, that's jazz. You got Love Supreme, you got Kind of Blue. We're
Jazz is
done.
taken care of. Yeah. Ziggy Stardust.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm glad they got it on there. I was kind of for some of these lists, like I just like didn't think it was actually even gonna make it. I thought they were just gonna totally blackball Bowie, but I'm glad he's on there. I mean, we still haven't seen the Beatles, right?
Mm-mm.
Or Dylan. No Dylan yet. No Beatles. I mean, obviously we're not getting any prog or anything other than Dark Side. That's prog enough. That's it. Covers everything. We got our metal album. We have 15 to 20 rap albums. Zero country. I guess
Case, we
what?
got
Okay.
Casey Musgraves.
Casey Musgraves is the greatest country artist of all time. That's been established now. And let's see, what else are we missing? No Bruce yet.
We're not missing Burial, so thankfully we got that in there.
No Michael Jackson. No Bruce. Um,
A lot of these I do know are coming up though. So
okay.
Daft Punk Discovery.
That's a bold pick. I, I, if we're going just by cultural impact and what's hip, sure, I can see that. Not this high or low or whatever, but I could see it making a top 100. I'm okay with that.
Born to Run.
Okay, so there's Born to Run. There's Born to Run. That's good. We got one.
Revolver.
All right, we're checking them off. Next, it's got to be Bob Dylan, right?
Close. We got Pet Sounds at 20.
Oh, that's high. That's too,
You mean low, but yes, it's low.
yeah, it's too low. Too low.
Too low.
All right, so I'm guessing in like the next five, we're gonna get a Joni, Marvin, and a Bob.
Okay, let's see. We got a Dr. Dre, The Chronic.
Okay, Dre, yep,
Add another to the hip hop
rap
list.
list.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that they're picking the right ones. It's just incredibly safe though. Like these are like the literal like most obvious picks. Like this is back in like Rolling Stone when like their classic 500 albums would end with like Beatles, Beach Boys, Bob Dylan, Hendrix, Zeppelin. Like it was just like, automatic.
Yeah.
Little boring, little boring.
1989 Taylor's version.
Taylor's version. You shitting me.
That's what it says.
That album is a marked step down from the original in every way, especially style. The best song that she ever wrote or was a part of, Ruined. That sucks. That really sucks. It just sucks so much. Ooh.
Even if it was the original, 18 would be absurd.
No, people didn't even like that album that much when it came out. Like it's such a like,
Are we ranking albums or are we ranking artists we like? What are we doing here?
yeah, I mean, come on. Like that was like, okay, yeah, this is a decent album from Taylor Swift. Like we like her direction. Hooray. 7.5 out of 10. Moving on. And now it's like 10 out of 10. But it's really odd the way that these albums just like gain a new life because the artists get popular or, styles change.
Style changed literally.
Yeah.
What's going on? 17.
All right, so there's Marvin. We got one Marvin. That was Rolling Stones number one.
16
Something.
is Joni with Blue.
Okay. So no Bob, but I was
No
right.
Bob.
I got some of it right there.
We're almost to Bob, but at number 15, we got to get through Adele 21.
Hmm.
Better than Joni's Blue.
Wait, yeah, it's hard to take. It's hard to hear.
It's also just wrong. As someone who doesn't even like Joni Mitchell that much, that is not correct. Highway 61.
So there's Bob. So are we not getting blonde on blonde, or are they going to double up?
Doesn't appear we're getting Blonde on Blonde or Blood on the Tracks.
Wow.
The Blueprint, Jay-Z.
Okay, that I kind of like because that is probably my it's top three for me rap albums of all time. Really like that one. It was 50 in Rolling Stones. I like seeing it ahead of some of the other rap albums that I think are a little overrated. So I'm good with that one.
OK Computer.
Okay, so that's good. I'm fine with that. Glad we got that. There's no way they're gonna triple up within Rainbow, so we're safe. So that's good.
Number 11 is just outside the top 10, Rumors by Fleetwood Mac.
Okay, that's yeah, totally cool with that.
All right, now we get this Bananas top 10.
Okay, I'm preparing for the worst.
10 is Lemonade.
Oof, wow. That is unacceptable.
9 is Nevermind.
See, I would have thought that would be like top three. I thought they were gonna go top three with that one.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that being I have no problem with that being top 10. That's expected.
Hmm.
This is one of the most bananas picks at number 8. Can't believe it's this high. Back to Black by Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, it seems insane. She does have a documentary coming out, or no, a biopic.
Biopic, yeah.
Yeah, so
That is just outrageous.
like who's picking this list? I want names and possibly home addresses. Yeah, it's
Feels
terrible.
like someone that graduated high school a few weeks ago. Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick Lamar.
Okay, so we are getting a Kendrick. I knew it had to be on here. So that's an interesting pick though, not to Pimp a Butterfly.
Shocking to me that it's not To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah. Like even I mean, I could see both of them making the list,
Yeah.
but to only have Good Kid, Mad City seems a little nutty. A little nutty.
Songs in the Key of Life.
Okay, good. That's
Too high. I think Intervisions is better. Just flip them.
I mean, I would, but for whatever reason, Songs in the Key of Life is the standard for number one for Stevie.
Frank Ocean, Blonde at 5.
But yeah, that was the one I knew, and I was on Twitter talking about that or X or whatever earlier. Like that is the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like that makes every other pick seem like the correct and, you know, unassailable position. To have that album, and I listened to it today just to make sure, and it is not a horrible album. I'm not saying it's like a bad album.
Yeah.
But the step down from Channel Orange, the boringness of it, just like it is inexplicable that this is like the like standard for R&B and you know whatever of like this millennium, I guess, you know, I guess of all time for R&B if it's ahead of Songs in the Key of Life. It is just the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my just ever.
A lot of people don't know this, but actually his picture on the cover is someone telling him that this is the 5th best album of all time. It's just,
Yeah,
yeah.
God, that can't believe that. Cannot believe it.
Or is Purple Rain.
Okay. Well, at least that's ahead. That should be, I was hoping that would be number one.
Do you not know the top 3? You didn't hear what number 1 was?
Trying to think. No, I don't think I know the top three.
Okay. Well, we do get a second Beatles album.
Abbey Road.
Yep.
So no Sergeant Pepper.
No Sergeant Pepper. No. No White
Pepper's
Album
off the list. The basically like unanimous number one album of all time, like 10 years ago,
for decades. Yeah.
completely just like, nah, we don't care about Sergeant Pepper anymore. Old news. That's kind of mind blowing. I mean, if anyone who's going to get tripled up, you'd think the Beatles. That's crazy to me.
Paul McCartney also appears on our number 2 album.
What is it? Band on the Run?
That'd be sweet though. Thriller.
Okay, Thriller. Okay, you get one Michael Jackson. That makes sense.
All right, drum roll. The greatest album of all time is The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
I'm gonna politely disagree. I mean, I guess you could make the case for its importance, especially on like today's music, because she was, a trailblazer for African American women in the industry, like in R&B and rap and soul. And the way things are today, sure. But putting that as number one, just I don't know. I mean, Rolling Stone had it at 10, so it's not like some outrageous off the wall pick. I just wouldn't have done it. I don't think it's a great album. That's my problem. I just don't like it that much.
Yeah.
It'd be very, very hard pressed to get that into my top 10, top one.
Very, very, very bad list, I think. Worse than
Definitely
Rolling
sucks.
Stones.
Yeah, definitely worse than Rolling Stone. The only ones missing that were on the Rolling Stone, at least in the top, whatever. Rolling Stone Blood on the Tracks 9, which my Blood on the Tracks episode came out, so I can say that I don't think it's a great album. So I'm fine with it missing.
Insane.
Um, Highway 61 was on. To
Yep.
Pimp Butterfly missed at 19. Um, Sergeant Pepper at 24. White Album at 29. Rubber Soul at 35. Michael Jackson Off the Wall at 36. Blonde on Blonde at 38. So, I mean, a lot of like doubled up albums. So the only artists like not represented, Paul Simon was number 46 with Graceland. Ramones was 47 with their self-titled. I'm a little surprised only one Taylor Swift, to be honest. Happy.
I think the list has too much. I think it went too far into diversifying and not doubling up on artists.
Mm-hmm.
Like on one hand, it opens up more spots and can make your list more interesting, but then to give those spots to Mary J. Blige and Burial and Bad Bunny and Lord,
Yeah.
what's the real benefit? Just put more Beatles on there.
I mean, Rolling Stone had Chuck Berry at 51, Station to Station 52, Electric Ladyland 53, James Brown, Star
And like,
Child.
yeah, like nothing, like no old, like early rock and roll, no like early soul stuff hardly at all. The
Yeah.
Nina Simone and the Aretha, but like it just seems like music starts at 1969 or something.
Yeah. No Zeppelin 4, no Talking Book, no Astral Weeks. Paid in Full was one of the few rap albums that didn't appear. Stankonia didn't make it, which would have been a better pick than Aquemini. I mean, everything else that was pretty like straight up Rolling Stone. They had Harvest instead of Gold Rush. They had Renaissance. They had Loveless on their top 100, College Dropout.
I'm kind of surprised the shoegaze stuff is really popular right now. I'm surprised we didn't get a pick or two from the genre or some dream pop or something. Really, none of that stuff made it.
Yeah. No Who at all. Blonde was 79 on Rolling Stone, which sucks, but that's fine. Sex Pistols, Sly and the Family Stone. Surprised that they didn't get on there. No Doors.
Too much new stuff on this
Yeah.
Apple list.
No REM. My God, the college rock fans are gonna go crazy.
No replacements.
Yeah, no the band.
No Black
Yeah.
Sabbath.
Well, yeah, I mean no Sabbath, which
No
is to
Deep
be
Purple.
expected because Rolling Stone didn't even put that on their top 100. So yeah, no metal at all other than Master of Puppets, which seems like just a stab for, hey, we're paying attention to what's cool.
No metal at all, no actual country at all. Because
Yeah,
Casey
zero
Musgraves is
country.
a pop singer.
Yeah, no, like no new wave, no Costello, no Blondie. Like throw like Funkadelic on, like put Maggot Brain on there or something. Like you don't have to include like 25 rap albums. Like you can diversify slightly the sound just because rap's popular now. Like throw Ray Charles, a Queen, Van Morrison, any of these albums would have been nice to see. There was no post-punk at all, really, which I'm very happy about. But you'd think there'd be like one representative.
Joy Division.
Yeah, that warms my heart that they didn't make it. So wasn't all bad.
Well, I do have Apple Music, so I guess I have to be changing that.
Cancel that shit now.
All right, well, let us know what you think of this list. Do you think it's as bad as we think it is? Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, check the video description for Patreon and other stuff. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.